All right, hey, what's up, y'all? So I was commentating one of the Grand Blue beginner/intermediate brackets pretty recently, and I noticed this situation happening a lot. Now, missing a hit confirm certainly isn't uncommon, especially in a beginner bracket. But when I brought up buffering, turns out there was quite a few people even in chat who didn't really know what I was talking about. So today we're going to talk about buffering. And I'm specifically going to be using Grand Blue as the example here, but bear in mind this concept is applicable to most fighting games out there. Alright, so what is buffering? According to Infill's fighting game glossary, a buffered attack is whiffing a normal attack in front of you and then inputting another attack as a cancel afterwards. Okay, so functionally, what does that look like? Look at my inputs in this clip. See anything unusual? I'm doing the input for her H-Rekka immediately after pressing FAR 5M every time. But I'm not actually getting the Rekka to come out. So, now watch what happens when I do the same input, but the FAR M connects. See? Now H-Rekka comes out. So, let's take this a little further. When you throw a button out in neutral, like Jita's FAR M, for example, one of three things is going to happen. You're going to whiff, you're going to hit your opponent, or your opponent's going to block. Now, buffering specials behind your normals covers all three of these options. Kind of. Alright. So, if you're throwing out buttons like a lunatic in neutral, buffering is not going to save you from being whiff punished. So, bear that in mind. What it is going to do is stop you from whiffing further. So, if you're whiffing like far heavy, you're open, as a general rule with most characters. More so if you're whiffing specials. So, this eliminates that, which is good. So on block, your opponent will get frame trapped by the H-Rekka, and if they try to press a button after blocking the H-Rekka, you get Rekka pressure, basically. So you can choose to continue your Rekka, you can continue to stop, try to steal your turn back, or maybe give up your turn. And of course on hit, you're going to get hard knockdown mid-screen, or a full conversion in the corner, which is absolutely what we want. So, great. We got buffering down, but how do we apply this knowledge to actually winning games? So, that brings us to the whole point of this video. Buffering inputs is an easy way to lighten your mental stack while you're trying to hit, confirm, and whiff punish. Alright? So, what do I mean when I say mental stack? Mental stack, simply put, is just talking about how much focus a player can devote to different strategies in a match. So, practical example. Let's say that you've got to worry about your opponent jumping in at you. You're trying to maintain your spacing while trying to whiff punish a button. Your opponent is just ripping fireballs that you're trying to avoid or otherwise not get smoked by. And you have to deal with their neutral skipping, heavy hitting, forward moving, 13 frame special that counter hits on the corner for huge damage. And you're trying to do all this while pushing 5M in neutral, trying to confirm on reaction into either super or EX Rekkas or whatever you're canceling it to. Now, I don't care how good you are. You cannot do all of these things perfectly. You can't. That's why you see things like big drops, missing easy confirms, missing anti-airs, even at a high level. Everyone still has to manage their own mental stack, and if you can find a way to limit the amount of things you consider at once, much easier on your brain. So, that's why buffering is so important, because you can just slot this technique into your game plan, one less thing you have to consider. Now, obviously there's a bit more depth than just blindly buffering specials behind all your normals. For example, let's say I'm playing Percival and I'm doing command dash after every single one of my FAR M's. My opponent's probably going to realize that and just DP me after, so you still got to use your head when you're using this. Now, this doesn't do anything by itself, but the fact that I'm buffering means I can focus more on if my attack hits or is blocked and react with the appropriate follow-up. This is called a hit confirm. I've said that a couple times now, but performing an attack, seeing your attack successfully hit, and then reacting to this information by continuing the combo. Now, so as you can see, I'm still missing more of these than not. Even if you're buffering, this is still a hard thing to do, which is why I'm such an advocate for buffering the dash part in, because it is so much easier to react to a hit or block with just a single button press, rather than trying to react on hit with 214M into L or H, depending on block or hit, right? You're eliminating one set of those inputs, like you're just taking it out of your mental stack. Even with this little shortcut we're doing, I still miss a few, which is why it's so important to practice in training mode before you go into trying to hit this in real games. So just set the practice dummy to block random and go wild. Little side note before we tie things off here. Every single term that we've actually defined, I have pulled directly from Infill's fighting game glossary. I'm gonna have the link in the description. It is such a good resource for just getting quick, concise info on terms you aren't familiar with. And if you're a newer fighting game player who kind of overwhelmed by some of the jargon, this is a great resource for you. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I wanted to make a quick video on the importance of buffering, and I will probably be making one in the future regarding like drills and practice mode, kind of expanding a little bit what I was talking about toward the end there. Follow me on socials, Twitter, Lennox207. I'm going to have a bunch of links in the description. And of course, if you ever want to play some Grand Blue, all you got to do is hit me on the Twitter DMs. Me and Danny, we're always ready to go. That being said, thanks again for watching. Peace out, y'all.